Hi there, my name is Milton, and this is a coloring tutorial that has been requested quite a few times over some comments on my previous YouTube videos or over Instagram. So today I will be doing just that, and we will be coloring this Joker piece today that I've done a couple of days ago. I just had to add this extra textured brush strokes. You obviously don't need that. I just put it because I'm trying some new stuff. We will be focusing mainly on the coloring part. So obviously you need to have the flats done. I don't think I need to be covering that. All you need to do is just do the selections with the lasso tool, or just paint around with the brush and then fill it in, whatever is more useful for you. I will be doing the shading part of the tutorial. You might want to take a look at this 3D figure. I will leave a link in the description. So all you need to do is you have the play button right here, you have the timeline which will rotate the light. You just need to stop wherever you need. So for the Joker piece, as you can see, the light will be coming from the bottom. So we will need to find a more suiting light direction for us. That's a good one. This will help you to see where the light is stronger on the face and where there's shadow. This will be very helpful for you if you still don't understand the volumes of the face. I never used this, I only found it recently, but this will be much more helpful for you than you may think. Alright, we have our head reference right here on the top of the screen. So we have the head model on the top of the screen. This will help you be guided. If you want to know the software for this, it's called PureRef. I'll also leave a link on the description. Alright, the first thing that I do is I duplicate the flats layer so that I have one intact for reference, or if I wanna keep selecting the whole colored piece. And I click here on lock transparent pixels. That way, if I wanna color something, as you can see, it won't get out of the layer itself. And usually you might notice this a lot. I usually start by getting the colors dark. Sometimes I also mess with the hue and the saturation of them. For example, I usually leave the white colors like a bit more bluish, so that it's not muted colors. I also usually like to put the reds in almost near purple. You probably noticed as well on a lot of the comic book drawings where the shadow part of the red color is purplish, so that will help you a lot. I usually do not use other third-party brushes for this part. It's just a default Photoshop brush with the hardness all the way down. I have the pressure, and I also need space for my colors to be seen. So I'm gonna put this down here. So as we can see right here on the eyes, which we'll be starting with them, it's very simple. All you need to do is make sure that the strongest light source comes from the bottom part of the eye. There's a little bit of shadow cast on the eye, which is also why I already have an inked line over there. So we will select the eyes. They are yellowish, so I also go for more yellowish tone. I select something like this. Yeah, I have the spacing of the brush all the way down. I have shape dynamics so that it feels the pressure. I also have transfer, which helps to feather out the brush when you're making less pressure on it. Okay, I'm gonna need a bit more saturation on the yellow. Alright, that's good. So I usually color a bit more even on the shadow part so that it's not too dark. And then all I need to do is deselect the shadow part. All you need to do then is just give them some strokes. Now if you want to add some shine, you just need to select the parts that you want and press Ctrl U to bring the hue saturation tab and go all the way up, and there we go. The eyes are very simple. Now we can go for the teeth, since they're yellowish as well. As always, select them, give one or two brush strokes. I forgot to mention that my brush stroke is set on hard light over here. It'll help you to light up when you're brushing, you're shading your piece. So I don't want much light on the back teeth, so just deselect them. There we go. And now you've probably seen also a lot of drawings where they don't really do separate teeth like this, because it looks very weird. Oops. Actually, it doesn't look that weird, but still, and if you're wondering, I am hiding the selection with Ctrl H. What I usually do is I just deselect a portion of this, usually on the top, because, well, the light is coming from the bottom here, but also a bit on the bottom of the teeth. Let's see how that goes. Perfect. We will be giving them some highlights. I'll show you more towards the end. Now for the reds, about here, select a red, a bit too much. No. Yeah, sometimes you have to find the correct tone, the tone that feels right for you. just shade it all a bit. Now, as you can see on the 3D head, the upper lips are very lit up. So that's exactly what we're gonna do. Like, we're gonna select or deselect what's not the upper lips, since we already had this selected. There. Now this will be much more helpful. For the bottom lip, well, it is darker on the 3D head. It's only lighter on the bottom of the bottom lip, which, well, it's a bit hard for Joker when his chin is long, but you have like a character like Batman, which it's not long, it's just wider. It works perfectly. We can also do that for, we can also color the tongue, the gums. They don't need much. They don't need to be the focus of the piece. Now here comes the cooler part, the shading of the face. First of all, we select it all. We have a bluish white, and we stroke it all a little bit. That feels just about right. Now, one of the focuses on the 3D head, we can see it's the bottom of the nose. So this is what we'll do. We will select exclusively the bottom of the nose. There we go, and all you need to do is stroke it out. And then we have on the middle of the bottom, the nose, it's even more highlighted. You can actually do those very angular shapes with the selection. Doesn't matter, it's comic books, it's more stylized. I don't usually do shadows, but we will do a bit of them here. Also, after we highlight the body of the Joker, the face of the Joker. So now, for under the eyebrows, you also have to take in count the wrinkles. Also play around with the rendering from the inks and do that. Now deselect what we don't want, that color, and we have some magic going on. It's already starting to feel like it has volume, you know? You can even take out the line work and you can see, like, taking out the line work will help you see if there's volume or not. This now I will speed this a bit and probably stop sometimes to explain you some other stuff. Okay, now we don't see much on the 3D head, which is the cheeks. Well, he's Joker. He's always smiling. So his cheekbones will be larger, so they'll have more volume. So we'll also need to do a selection here. Well, it doesn't really even need to be the Joker. You can do that for any character that's smiling, because the mouth will be pushing the muscles, which will be doing a wrinkle here, and the cheekbones will get a bigger volume. Now you can also do the same thing, like we broke it down here with the same shapes as the 3D model. You can break it down a bit more, the ones that are closer to the bottom, closer to the light, give even more light to it. Look, it's already halfway there. Now, the other place we have to go for is the ears. They're not much outwards like the 3D one, but it will still catch some light. The ears are the tricky part, especially because the ears are different from one person to another. So let's see, on the inside of the ear. As for the neck, there's a lot of obstruction in front, like the bow tie, the jacket. He's kinda going for that maniac laugh, which your chest will go more into the front. So there will be a lot of shadows here, but they're still visible next to the light. And now, this is a tricky one, because as you can see, there's not much space over here like the 3D model. But we will still color some parts. There's also the wrinkles. I don't believe that realistically they'd get much light on them, but let's not just leave them hang there. Even if it's just a little bit of color, like that. Look at that. Much better. And now for the shadows, you could set the brush to multiply over here, but I'm gonna leave it in hard light. You just can't get the color too saturated, or it'll be a weird thing. Watch this. See, it's a bit too blue. So we will leave them right here. I'm not sure if I'm coloring. Yeah, I was coloring the hair as well. Look at that. You can raise the opacity and the flow a little bit more. And now Let's see, at in the nose area, it flows all the way to the top of the cheekbone. The nose area, it flows all the way to the top of the cheekbone. So that's where we will make a selection. It doesn't need to be exactly touching where we just lit up on the bottom of the nose. You can leave it like this, the hard surfaces, if you want, if that's more of your style. Or, if you're like me, you're gonna want to select the whole white part and select the smudge tool. I have a smudge tool that a friend gave it to me. I don't know where he got it. But there's a lot of smudge tools out there. You can pick them up anywhere, and I'll just smudge, not entirely the whole thing, but just some areas. And as you can see now, it has a midterm of more realistic and cartoonish, which is the way that I prefer to work with. Now, as for the hair, we'll start the same way. We will select the hair, select a green tone that would be appealing to the eye. Oops. And light it all up. That's a bit too much. There. That's a good tone. Don't forget the eyebrows. And now, you can make lasso tool selections of the hair. Which is how I usually do it. And now, we'll shade it. If you have like hair strands like these that pop out, make sure they're more visible than the rest. And again, if you have the selection outside of the layer, you don't have to worry because we locked transparent pixels. And there we go. You might want to do something like this. You can find some brushes out there as well. Yeah, I said I don't usually use much third-party brushes. I do, but not for the basic part. You can keep going with the Photoshop default brushes, just change them up a bit, their settings. Then I just give them some strokes for the hair. I can't remember where I got this brush, but I do know that I use these brushes from Aaron Blaise, a veteran Disney animator. and let me tell you, they've been very helpful. Here, they make some good hair strands too. Lately I've been adapting a little bit of the Dan Mora style, a really great comic book artist. He's done a lot of work for DC. He's currently working on Batman, Superman, World's Finest. And I noticed that he usually selects the dark tone of whatever he's working on, and with the normal tool just and let's go to 100% of opacity, and he does this. It's not very noticeable at first, but it'll do the trick. Now look, the hair looks much more alive. If you're not happy with the saturation, the brightness, you don't need to be afraid to go to the image, adjustments, brightness and contrast, and just change it up a bit. And also Control U once again to bring the hue saturation. If you want to look for the right tone and also the saturation, just play around with this. Alright, now I forgot to also color the cheekbones of the Joker red lipstick, so we'll just select it. Go again for the red. Okay, now that's much better. Once again, you can select it, image, adjustments, brightness, contrast, and there we go. Now there's a lot of volume in there. Now the final touches that I usually do, that I've showed to you, no, that I've mentioned to you, it's kind of what I did to the hair as well, which I select some other cool brush. There's a lot of free brushes out there and paid ones. Make sure you look well if that's the brush that you want to look for. We will select a tone that's closer to white, and we will give these highlights, but I want less opacity and flow. For the teeth, they're usually covered with saliva all the time, so I tend to go to the white tone. Just decrease the size of the brush, increase the opacity and flow. I'll give it some shine. There we go, much more alive. You can also do the same for the tongue and the gums. Yeah, this Joker is now much more alive. Simple touches will do a lot. Now as for the rest, just use the tools, the ideas, the tips that I gave to you, and they'll work out. So thank you for coming. I will try to make more tutorials when I have the time. It's been crazy. I've been working on my comic book Raptor. I've been coloring a comic book called Outrider. I've been doing commissions for currently it's on a Kickstarter campaign for a comic book called Shadow from my good friend Isaac Lyle. You should totally check it out. I have a poster there. If you back it with the perk where it has the poster, there's also gonna be a variant cover done by me. So don't forget to like, subscribe, and follow me on social media like Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. I'm mostly on Instagram. So if you have any questions, just DM me or leave a comment on one of my posts.